I did it all for the money. When a player had to eat, that one a damn thing funny. Hey, I did it all for the money. Hey, I did it all before. Rob people so dope. Gang banging, shooting pistols, running from the dance folks. And I was known for eating anything your ass folks. Soft, hard, green, brown, niggas even had throat. Welcome to the Playing with the Church Money podcast. It's your host, Brother Will. Today we're going to get into cancel culture. We're going to continue our series on cancel culture. I knew when I started this series I would get a lot of miles out of it. It's something you cannot make up. It's just organic. These people, like I've said, it's selective outrage. And you're always going to have people whining and people, assuming they can do certain things. So we're going to get into this. We're going to speak about Dave Chappell and the double standard. So this week we had Dave Chappell, big outrage about Dave Chappell making some jokes about the LGBTQ community and making some analogies, comparisons. Not just going to say the LGBT. He was talking about cancel culture. And so Dave couldn't have put it together any better because of the reaction he got from it. Almost proved his point perfectly. Now, that's where we have a few double standards. There's a few double standards and a few issues that we need to discuss with the LGBTQ community and the cancel culture vultures. We need some answers, and this is why I say there's no such thing as cancel culture. I'm about to point out why. Now, you have Dave Chappelle being canceled over some jokes that he made, some analogies he made about cancel culture and why people get canceled. One of the parts of it is because they attack the LGBT community or they say disparaging things about the LGBTQ community, which is understandable. You would be upset. You would be outraged. It is completely understandable. However, I believe Dave wanted to open up a conversation. And I think a lot of people in the LGBTQ community understood that. And that's why you have a lot of those people supporting Dave, because it's a very simple concept Dave was trying to explain comically. Now, the problem I have and a lot of other people have, and what Dave was pointing out, was that black people can be used as forms of entertainment negatively all the way around, from our tragedy to our behavior. And it's looked at and it's overlooked. And it's looked at as normal. I've discussed this in one of my previous videos. So now that this is happening to Dave, it's very, very interesting. But there is no outrage when Dave points out what he said. When Dave points out what he said, it's he was talking about the baby. He said, y'all will cancel baby. The baby made some comments about people with AIDS. Didn't say anything about the LGBTQ community, but they took offense and pushed this cancel culture vulture stuff on him. Now, Dave made an analogy that it was okay for you guys to cancel him because of that. But when he killed the guy and the black kid in Walmart, there was no outrage. Mine was when he kicked the black girl for taking a selfie and punched the other black girl for taking a selfie. There was no canceling. There was no outrage. People were quiet as a church mouse. If anything, there was memes being made about it, showing him kicking the chicks. So there was no outrage about that. That was my issue. But that was what Dave pointed out, that it was okay for him to kill somebody and not get canceled. But as soon as he made some statements, he wanted to be canceled. So it's okay for black people to be
entertainment are the worst of the worst behavior in our community can be looked at as entertainment instead of a problem is a problem. It's normalized. And I've said this in the previous video. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. Dave couldn't say there was out big outrage. Y'all want to cancel Dave for what he said, but y'all don't want to cancel Dave because he said nigga in none of his comedy specials. Y'all want to cancel Dave over that, but y'all don't want to cancel Dave because he said nigga 50 times in his comedy specials. As a matter of fact, y'all were laughing. It was entertaining at that point. His current special was entertaining too. Obviously, up until some point when he made that joke. So up until that point, he had made some nigga jokes. So there was no outrage about that. Nobody, all you people at Netflix, there was no outrage because he said nigga 50 times before he made that joke. Y'all weren't calling to have his stuff removed because he said nigga 50 times. Y'all wanted this stuff removed because he made that joke or analogy about the LGBT because he spoke about the LGBT, but not because he said nigga 50 times in that same special. So now y'all calling for his stuff to be removed. So what does that say about y'all? Y'all basically proved his point. And it's speaking into something else. There's a certain racist element that wants you to overlook your blackness somehow. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's what is coming across like that people should be offended because he's making these jokes, but not because he's making the nigga joke. So y'all should just forget about that. But this is what's really the outrage. I'm not understanding. Can we get some clarification from some of the LGBTQ activists or the people out here calling to cancel him, the cancel culture vultures? Can somebody please explain? Some activists from the LGBTQ community, some cancel culture vultures, somebody, can we get some explanation why there's no outrage over him saying nigga 50 times in that same special? But, and this is what Dave's point was. Now this is me now. Why is it that you guys are going after Dave when in the same week you had the coach of the Raiders in the NFL? Some emails were leaked of him talking about the first openly gay football player, Michael Sam, calling him the F word. Actually, and I don't recall Dave saying the F word. Maybe he did. Maybe I didn't hear it. Maybe I didn't watch the whole special. I watched bits and pieces of it. So, however, I don't see no outrage because he called Michael Sam the F word. I don't see no outrage because he called the NFL executive the N word. And the only two things in common with these two people, one's straight, one's gay. And the only two things in common is they're both black and they're in the NFL. So now, y'all, these emails were leaked. There's no outrage. You guys are not calling for John Gruden's games to be removed from the NFL network. You are not calling for John Gruden's games to be removed off ESPN or any of these streaming services like you're calling for Dave's material to be removed from these streaming services. So this is the hypocrisy. This is the double standard. And it speaks into a bigger issue that you guys have to, amongst yourselves, deal with. And I know people are gonna say we don't got to deal with that, but this is what you're doing. You're picking and choosing. You turned your issue into a cancel culture vulture issue, where you're picking and choosing. You're not being straight across the board. So either you're scared of the NFL, they got too much money, or NFL's a white-owned league. John Gruden's white, so we're not gonna go after him, but we'll go after Dave Chappell's black ass. So we need to understand, why is there a double standard? And this is why I say there's no cancel culture. For all you people whining about cancel culture, they didn't cancel NFL. They ain't trying to cancel John Gruden's games from all the teams he's been on, and go up against the NFL giant. But they'll go up against Dave Chappelle and his single lawyer. But they ain't gonna go up against the NFL and all their lawyers. No way. No way. So this is where it's a double standard, and this is where I call BS on a lot of y'all. And it's why I call the cancel vulture community cancel culture vultures, because they pick and choose. And all you people out there whining, that's you too. You whining. You part of it. And like I said, for all the people you said something racist or something, or you said something sexist and people don't want to buy your stuff, there's thousands of people who will. So you're not actually canceled. But we need answers from you LGBTQ community activistas out here, and you cancel culture vultures out here after Dave, but quiet as a church mouse on John Gruden. Quiet as a church mouse on Coach Chucky. Y'all do not want to go after the NFL. Y'all is scared, quiet as a church mouse. I ain't heard nobody trying to go up against ESPN to remove those streams. Nobody. Trying to remove them NFL 20 for 20s and all that. Remember John Gruden used to have to talk with the players and all that? I don't see y'all trying to call for all that stuff to get removed. So this is where I call cancel culture vultures on y'all. So we need some answers. Why is there a double standard? Why is the LGBTQ community and the cancel culture vultures going after Dave for his special, even though he said nigga 50 times and there's no outrage about that? So what does that say about y'all? And why is you guys are quiet as a church mouse, zero outrage over John Gruden calling out Michael Sam, calling him the F word, and calling the other Darius, I forget his name from the NFL, because I'm not into that. I don't watch that no more. The N word. So y'all, why is there a double standard? Why? So we need to understand what's going on. Why is there a double standard? Why are y'all attacking Dave Chappelle and not John Gruden? I'm pretty sure John Gruden had like $100 million contract, and y'all out here putting Dave Chappelle's financial statements from his Netflix specials. Are y'all serious? This is what y'all doing? And so it just shows the pettiness. Y'all will not go and do that to the NFL, because y'all know them lawyers will come for y'all head. So that's why there's no cancel culture vultures. They'll pick and choose. So we need some answers. LGBTQ community, cancel culture vulture community, can we get some answers? Cancel LGBTQ community activistas, can we get some explanations? Why is there a double standard? Netflix employees, can we get an explanation? Why the hell didn't y'all call to have his Netflix specials removed when all the nigga jokes that he was saying in all them specials for the past 25 years? Probably since the inception of Netflix, since y'all been working there, and nobody was outraged about it. So it was entertainment for all those years. It was very entertaining. They should have me dying, damn. Moved your life, had you dying and rolling so much, you know what I mean? But now it's time to cancel Dave. But we're going to stay quiet as a church mouse on John Gruden, and we don't care if he said nigga 100 times in his specials. It's entertaining. So, gonna leave it here, man. Y'all stop playing with the church money. Y'all please follow, like, subscribe, share, thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Stop playing with the church money. Y'all stay blessed.
I did it all for the money. I did it all for the money. When a player had to eat, that one a damn thing funny. I did it all for the money. I did it all before. Ride people so dope. Gang banging, shooting pistols, running from the dance folks. And I was known for eating anything you asked for. Soft, hard, green.